Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ronnie Lambeth, and today I want to talk about this quarantine thing that we're all going through. I'm sitting here in my house in Boise, Idaho, and my day's not really much different than it normally is. I wake up, I work out, I walk across the hall, down to my office. I start opening emails and I start doing work. And then around 10, 11 o'clock, I get up and I usually go outside and go for another walk with my dog or do something. The only real difference is I'm not traveling. And there's not very much traffic when I do go out to the grocery store or whatever. But I know that's not the case for many of you. I know many of you are locked down. I got a text message from a friend from San Diego. She was walking her dog today. Dog's got to go out, do what the dog's got to do. Police officer walked up to her. This is in La Jolla, California. Walked up and threatened to give her a misdemeanor, or give her a ticket rather, for a misdemeanor for being in the park because they're on lockdown. This is how crazy I know some of you have to deal with. This kind of crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. But with that being said, I understand why they're doing it. Unfortunately, not everyone out there has common sense. And if we all stay in our houses for 2 weeks, then the virus will go away and it'll be done, right? Or we could do the opposite. I was thinking about this. We could actually do the opposite of staying home. And that is we could all go out and socialize. Go back to life as is. We could go to conferences and seminars and concerts and movie theaters and just get everybody infected. See, if everybody was exposed to this virus like they are with the common cold, the common flu, then millions of people would have it, hundreds of thousands of people would die, and it'd be done with. But we're not doing that. We're treating it like we do forest fires. We don't let them burn and get out of control. We stop it. Look at California. They don't do clear cutting. They don't do controlled burns. They don't do a lot of anything. And the whole state about burns down every single year. Lots of people die. Millions of dollars of properties destroyed because they get in the way of Mother Nature. So what would you rather have? Would you rather be locked up, quarantined, and inconvenienced for 2 weeks? Or would you rather have hundreds of thousands of people die? I think I can be inconvenienced for a little while. Now, I know it's financially going to hurt. I know it is. It's going to be hurt. It's already hurting me. You know? My sales are down. I own a credit repair company. How many people do you think right now want to get their credit fixed? Well, the smart ones are wanting to get their credit fixed. And the smart ones are actually calling our office and getting their credit fixed because the banks are closed. Credit bureaus are closed. Collection agencies are closed. But eOscar, which is the software that we use to dispute the inaccurate, erroneous, obsolete, unverifiable accounts that are on your credit report that are driving down your credit score, that prevent you from getting the mortgage, getting the home of your dreams, getting the car that you want, the credit cards that have all the points that I talk about, potentially even a job. Those accounts that are preventing all of that, we use a system called eOscar through our system to dispute it. We don't have to mail any letters. We can actually log in and dispute it. And why are we doing that? Because right now everything's closed. But the clock's still ticking. They have 30 days to respond. So the people that are smart, that see the opportunity, are signing up for credit repair because they don't have to pay for it for 2 months generally. And they only pay if they get items deleted. So the smart people are actually getting their credit fixed. And our phones are ringing from those kind of people. But those that are scared are not getting their credit fixed. And so sales for me are down. And people that have lost their job, people that are freaking out or don't want to pay their bills, I understand. I get it. I actually went in and adjusted some of my bills. And so I want to just talk about what you could be doing right now during this time that we're locked up, that we're quarantined. I'm on day 2 of phase 1 of 75 Hard. Now, if you've listened to the show in the past, and I know I haven't done a show in so long, I've been going through a lot of stuff personally. If you're new to the show, you should know I was married for a long time. I'm no longer married. I ended a very, very long relationship. And there was no infidelity. There was no money problems. There wasn't anything wrong except for it was just the wrong 2 people. And our values were different. How did I end up getting married to the wrong person? Well, I was sick. Part of it, I was sick. I have Lyme disease. I have pneumonia. I've been in and out of the hospital over the last, I guess now it's 7 years. You can hear a little bit right now. I have pneumonia right now. And it's funny how many people think it's the coronavirus because I have a runny nose. I have a fever. I have a tremendous cough. And but it's not. It's mycoplasma. And I'm fighting it. I'm doing whatever I can do to stay healthy and stay out of the hospital. But so I ended this relationship. So I've been struggling with me issues. And so I haven't done a show in a long time. With that being said, I'm back. I'm healthy. I just sent my blood off to Greece. It's being genetically modified right now. It's the only known cure for Lyme disease. I'll be flying out to Atlanta. Crazy time to go out to Atlanta, meet with the CDC, and get an IV of this modified blood. But that's happening in the next couple weeks. But that's why I haven't been doing the show. Just so you guys know. I've been sick. I've been working on some mental stuff. And then I've also been working on a new business. I co-founded a new company with a guy named Ed Mylett. That's right, Ed Mylett and I and a few other people, John Elway, Damon John, Edwin Aria, Marshall Falk. Can't think of some other names, but we all created what's called Mylett Financial Group. And you're going to learn a lot about the Mylett Financial Group that I'm part of. So I've been really busy with that, but this is my commitment to you. I started the podcast to help you. I started the podcast to entertain you. Started the podcast more so to educate you on all things finances, credit, and taxes. So I commit to you on this, that my podcast will be on a regular basis now. I have the energy to do it, and I'm back. Okay? Now, here's what I want to talk about. I started 75 Hard. If you don't know what 75 Hard is, I started it last year in May. My good friend Andy Frisella from First Form and the MF CEO Project, one of the greatest podcasts of all time. It was the #1 entrepreneur podcast on the planet year after year, called the MF CEO Project. Look up Andy. So we started this program called 75 Hard. And 75 Hard is a mental challenge, not a physical challenge, even though it is physically challenging. I started this May of last year. I did 2 rounds of it last year. I did 2 75-day rounds. And it's by far the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Harder than the Special Forces training, harder than the firefighter training, harder than the 2-week survival training that I did in the military up in the mountains of Utah when they blindfold you, fly you up in a helicopter, drop you off for 2 weeks. It is by far the hardest thing I've ever done. And one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And until you actually complete it, you won't understand. And I have several Navy SEALs that have attempted to do the program and failed. Let that sink in. Navy SEALs, the baddest mofos on the planet, attempted to do 75 Hard and failed, and yet pregnant women were able to start it and complete it. I started it a week after I finished 12 months of chemo. in an attempt to kill the Lyme disease. And I also have malaria and mycoplasma. That's the pneumonia, which I have again. But anyway, so I was weak, I was sick, I was overweight, I was extremely unhealthy. I was drinking a fifth of vodka every single day to deal with the pain, which I know is not the best thing to do when you're going through chemo, but that's how I dealt with my pain. So I did 75 days of that twice, and now I'm doing what's called phase 1. And the reason I bring this up is because as you're quarantined and your mind starts to go down rabbit holes, the mental challenge will help. And so I want to encourage you to do 75 Hard, to look it up. There'll be a link in the show notes to Andy's latest show that really breaks down 75 Hard. This is how important that I think it is that I'm taking this time to tell you about 75 Hard. And here's the honest truth with you. I didn't know what to do for today's podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, I really didn't know what I was going to do other than I was going to try to encourage you. And hopefully you're finding some value in this. Hopefully you'll actually go away from today's video, or if you're listening on the podcast, with some encouragement. And I really didn't know what to do. I didn't want to talk about credit or taxes or money, which I'm going to in a little bit. But I'm just kind of going down this rabbit hole right now of 75 Hard, because I think it's important, because right now I'm mentally clear. I know I'm kind of not garbled. I'm kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm off track. I'm like I'm not super focused because I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but I knew how important it was to talk about. And so I'm just going to talk about 75 Hard and tell you about the program, and then I'll get into what you can do with your finances to help you in this time, what you can do the best use of your time. So 75 Hard, like I said, was started by my friend Andy Frisella. It's 75 days with no alcohol. I went 10 years of drinking every single day, up to a fifth, sometimes a whole handle of vodka every day in the last year. I'd never drank before. And I got in that relationship with my former spouse, and that was our thing. She was my drinking buddy when I got divorced, and it turned into a 10-year relationship, and that was our thing. It wasn't her fault. It was my fault because I chose to do that, okay? But that was our thing. We drank, and we drank a lot. And to be honest with you, I really like drinking. I like it a lot. And so I went 75 days no alcohol. 75 days no alcohol. 75 days with drinking a gallon of water every single day. 75 days of taking a progress picture. You do not need to share this with anyone. This is for you. If you're a man, the progress picture, which should be you in a pair of shorts with nothing else on. No shirt, no pants, no socks. That's it. This picture's for you, nobody else. If you're a woman, your underwear or bikini. Again, this picture's for you. You have to do it every single day. 2 workouts every single day. 2 45-minute workouts every single day. One must be outside regardless of what's happening. This morning when I did my workout, I walked because the gym's closed. So I walked 2.5 miles, and I walked in the rain. It was raining. It was cold. I made it about a block away, and I turned around and went home to get a rain jacket and a big, heavy winter coat on, and my gloves and a big stocking hat because it's cold. As I look out my office right now, it's snowing. It is March 24th in Boise, Idaho, and it's cold, and it's snowing, and I have to do another workout today. I may go outside. I may not, because I already did my 45-minute workout. You have to do 10 pages of reading every day. That's self-improvement book. Not 50 Shades of Grey. Not a motorcycle book or whatever. It's got to be self-improvement, personal development book. 10 pages every day. Reading on your phone doesn't count. Audio does not count. It's 10 pages of a physical book in your hand every single day. You must stick to a diet that you determine is the best thing for you. for your goals. If your goals are to lose weight, then it's going to be a calorie restricted diet so you can lose weight. If your goal is to gain weight, then it's going to be a heavy calorie diet, healthy calories, not just donuts, to gain weight. So the diet is what you want it to be. And you have to do this for 75 days straight. No breaks, no cheat meals, no exceptions. If you fail at one item, you start over. So let me break that down. 75 days, gallon of water, 2 workouts a day, progress picture, 10 pages of reading, no alcohol, and a diet. Every day for 75 days straight. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, that sounds easy, I could do it, then do it. I will tell you, it is anything but easy. The reason it's called 75 hard is because it is freaking hard. And no, if you forget to take your picture one day, you start over. If you're 1 ounce short of your 128 ounces of required water, you start over. If you work out 44 minutes instead of 45 minutes, you start over. Now, is there anybody judging you? No. This is up to you. See, we lie to ourselves every day, and that's why this program is so important. If you cheat yourself, you're going to cheat at everything in life. If you lie to yourself, you'll lie to anybody in life. So take this time that we're being quarantined and make the best use of your time. Get your mind off of everything else. If you focus on doing 75 hard, I promise you, it'll be a lot easier during this quarantine time. And yes, you can still go outside and work out. You just can't be standing around. And that's where my friend almost got in trouble was she was walking and her dog decided to poop and the cop was a jerk and threatened to write her a ticket because she was standing or loitering in the park. Well, you can't just keep walking. You got to stop for the dog, right? But if you're not in California, then you probably don't have to worry about this, right? So 75 hard in the show notes will be a link to Andy Frisella. He breaks down the program a little bit more precise than what I did, but that's essentially it. It's a mental challenge, and I think it would really help you. It'd help me a lot. All right, so let's go into some financial things that you can do. Well, one of the things you can do is if you've lost your job, I don't know of anybody who's lost their job. So let me rephrase that. If you're currently not working, then here's some things you can do. I wouldn't worry about calling your banks, your credit card companies and the loans and stuff right now because they're overwhelmed. They'll be starting to send out letters and stuff that you can respond to. But just start putting everything together. Come up with your budget. Come up with a list of who you owe money to, how much you owe, the interest rate, the monthly payment. And a lot of people don't have this. I know you probably don't. I've said this, I don't know how many times, 76% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. 67% have less than $1,000 in the bank account. And those are the people that are freaking out right now. They're 2 weeks away from bankruptcy. I do know that the banks, through requirements of through the federal government, that we will have a grace period. It'll probably be till the end of the year. No credit reporting, no late payments, no interest, no payments due. And when that happens, I'll be one of the first people to let you know that that's happening. But I know that's going to happen at some point. So I don't want you to stress out about missing payments and then having to hire me to fix your credit because it's not going to be required. Now, if you already have bad credit, right now is the best time. I've been doing credit in the financial industry for almost 13 years now, 12 and a half years. There's never been a better time than right now because of what's going on. It'll be the easiest time to get your credit fixed. But put together a list of your bills. Put together a list of really how much money you make and where you're making it. Spend this time to come up with ideas of how to make more money. Like I said, I teamed up with Ed Mylett. We started a new financial services group or financial services company called the Mylett Financial Group. And We will be hiring like crazy. We're already hiring. If you're interested in working from home, no money out of your pocket, no downside whatsoever. This is not an MLM. This is not a get-rich-quick thing. You don't need to buy a bunch of products. Yes, you got to do a little bit of work. Yes, it will require some time, but you can do this part-time when you get back to your full-time job. Doesn't cost you any money. You can start working from home. Most of the people that are already doing it are making about $70,000 a year. And you can do it anywhere in the world. And like I said in the beginning of the podcast, my day's not much different now than it was, a month ago. I work from home. And I work from wherever I'm at. As long as I have my phone, I can work anywhere. And so if you're interested in that, reach out to me. Reach out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, to learn more about the opportunity of working with Ed and I. And worst case scenario, you get an incredible financial education and you get access to some of the best personal development people on the planet. Ed Mylett is one of the greatest. Tony Robbins is part of our group. Think about that. If you have access to Tony Robbins through the group and Ed Mylett, you can do anything you want. So put together a list of all your bills. Come up with a budget. Come up with a plan, a financial plan on how you're going to get out of debt. And don't worry about it. Here's the thing is, everyone is suffering. Everyone in America is financially suffering. Even the people that don't have jobs, even the homeless people in California, they're suffering because there's nobody out on the street giving them money, giving them food. We're all in this together. We're all going to make it through it together. Don't stress out about your money. Don't stress out about your bills. They're not going to come repo your car. They're not going to kick you out of your apartment. They're not going to come take your kids. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. But if you want to come out of this farther ahead than everybody else, then come up with a financial plan. Come up with some ways to make some money, extra money. Spend this time to get mentally clear. Spend this time to start working on your body. Start 75 Hard Challenge. Work on your relationships. Work on you personally. Become the best version of you that you can possibly be. And if you start focusing on what you can do to become better and start focusing on what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for, what you're happy for, you're going to feel better. You will feel better, I promise. So anyway, that's today's show. I'm going to do another show for you next week. I promise it will be a little bit more I don't know the word that I'm looking for. Structured. It'll be more structured next week. It'll be more of a financial credit taxes show like I'm normally known for doing, not what I did today. So I appreciate you. Again, if there's anything I can do for you with your credit, your taxes, your finances, just reach out to me on Instagram, Rondy Lambeth. I'm super easy to find anywhere on social media, whatever your favorite is. Rondy Lambeth, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything's at Rondy Lambeth. Podcast, if you're watching right now on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, it's The School of Wealth, found on every platform out there, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, School of Wealth. So thanks again for tuning into School of Wealth. I appreciate you. Be safe. Start 75 hard. Change your life. And go out and make a difference in the world.